Isn't Harry Styles looking kind of strange to you? Yeah, he's upside down and all, but that's not what I'm talking about. There is something else bizarre happening here, and I'll give you 1 second to figure it out. Really pay attention to every tiny detail in this photo. So, did you catch it? Look at his mouth and his eyes. Even though everything else is flipped, his mouth and his eyes look normal. I mean, they're upright, but I bet you probably only noticed after I pointed it out, right? This phenomenon is known as the inverted face illusion. See, our brains are wired to recognize faces in their usual upright position, taking on the whole face at once and spotting details almost instantly. But when a face is flipped upside down, it's suddenly a lot harder to catch anything unusual. So at first glance, you might think the mouth and eyes are upside down too, just like everything else. Warning, this is not just a boring image of black and white stripes. I promise there is something, or better yet, someone, hidden behind those bars. To see it, all you have to do is shake your head quickly. If you're trying to avoid a headache or shaking your head in front of your coworkers seems, well, odd, there is another trick. If you're on a laptop, tilt the screen, step back, and look at the image from a side angle. Can you see Taylor Swift appearing on the screen? Yep, there she is. There is something about masks that just creeps me out, and things are about to get even creepier here. Right now, it's just a mask turning really slowly. Okay, keep going. Oh, wait, are we seeing the front of the mask again? Actually, no. The mask is still spinning. This is called the hollow face illusion, also known as the hollow mask illusion. What happens here is that our minds are tricked into seeing the back of the mask, the concave side, as the same as the front or convex side. In other words, instead of seeing the back of the mask as hollow, most of us see it as a regular face popping out toward us. This trick works because our brains rely more on what they expect to see, a 3D face sticking out, than what is really there. It's like our brain just says, nope, I'm sure this is a regular face. Here's another spinning illusion for you. Tell me in the comments, do you see a girl spinning to the right or to the left? This is called the spinning dancer or the silhouette illusion. And it's been puzzling minds all over the internet since 2003. The reason is that while some people see the dancer spinning clockwise, others swear she is moving counterclockwise. So, who's correct? Short answer, both. Long answer, it just has an optical illusion that messes with our depth perception. At certain points in her spin, you can't really tell if her arms, for instance, are moving in front or behind her body. So your brain just guesses, creating the illusion that she could be spinning either way. What makes it more interesting is that if we add a few lines, suddenly your brain isn't confused anymore. It can now totally tell which direction the girl is spinning, even if it works both ways. Can you spot something odd with these photos? For some strange reason, you might not have noticed that the top half of both photos is the exact same picture of Ryan Gosling. But why do we think they're two different photos? This effect is called the composite face illusion. Basically, when you line up the top half of one face with the bottom half of another, our brains interpret it as a completely new face. The bottom half messes with how we see the top half, and vice versa, making it all blend together. But this illusion only really works when the face is upright. Flip it upside down or misalign the halves, and suddenly our brains can separate them more easily, letting us spot the original faces faster. This way, it's much easier to see that the two top halves are exactly the same. Why is Adele's head just floating in the middle of nowhere? Let's throw in a background for some context. Whoa, okay, that wasn't exactly what I had in mind, but alright, let's go with it. Now, look around Adele. Do you think that the background is moving or not? Got your answer? Well, the background seems to be moving, but it's actually totally still and flat. If you don't believe me, just pause the video and you'll see that those purple and yellow waves keep moving like crazy. The reason is that this pattern was designed to trick your brain into seeing motion with contrasting colors, shapes, and positions. Our brain interprets change in light as movement, so the lines look like they're moving. But here's something even cooler. Focus your eyes only on Adele and try your best not to blink. Just keep staring at her. Now tell me, did you notice how the illusory motion seems to slow down? Wild, right? A lot of optical illusions we see online play with the contrast effect. This is all about how our brains perceive things based on what they're compared to. So our perceptions can be enhanced or diminished based on these comparisons. Want to see it? Let's take a photo of Dua Lipa, double it, and make it look grayish. See? They're exactly the same color and tone. But suddenly, your perception might change. One of them will get a light gray background and the other will get a black one. Now, the gray tones in Dua Lipa's photos look different from each other, right? If you can't see the effect with Dua Lipa's picture, don't worry. Here's an easier example. Trust me, the two inner gray rectangles are exactly the same color, but you're probably seeing the bottom one as darker. That's because this small rectangle is surrounded by a lighter shade compared to the top one. See? It's all about how our brains perceive things, taking the surroundings into account. Ready for a trip? Keep your eyes on this helm as we prepare to set sail. So, is this ship's wheel turning right or left? Well, it depends because you can actually control it. Tilt your head slowly to the left, and you will see the ship's wheel move in one direction. Now, tilt your head to the right. Slowly, don't rush. Can you see what's happening? It looks like our ship just changed direction. Something similar happens here. This time, the image of the circle is totally static, but you can make it look like it's moving. Just focus on the black dot in the center and move your head back and forth. Now, you're probably seeing the circle rotate. This illusion works because our brain processes motion direction by detecting the line ends and angles, which can create conflicting signals, tricking our brain into seeing rotation. I'm almost sure you think this image is tilted like those columns, especially the ones in the center, are somehow bending. But once again, your mind is playing tricks on you. Look, if we add white lines forming a rectangle, you will see that the vertical and horizontal lines are completely straight. Let's wrap up with some fun homework. Next time you pass an old-school barbershop, stop and take a good look at the classic spinning pole outside. Isn't it hypnotizing? The red and blue stripes seem to be endlessly going up or down. But here's the truth. The stripes aren't moving upward or downward at all. They're just rotating around the pole horizontally. What happens is that these stripes are diagonal. So when the pole spins, instead of the stripes looking like they're going in a circle, they seem to move straight up or down the pole.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.